If you wanna stay with me, if you wanna try, maybe you could be with me, but only for the night.
Hi there, welcome back to the Board Game Specialist. I'm Carla.
And I'm Melanie.
And today we bring you a bonus episode.
Surprise!
Mel had a couple days of gaming. We do this every once in a while. I head over to her place when Lee, her partner's gone away at work, and we just kind of have a sleepover and just play our brains out.
Yes, we played a lot.
We did. Yeah. It was fun. So we thought we'd just share with you what we all played.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we had Kayla join us the first day.
Yeah.
And then, but then she left because it started to snow as well. So she left a little bit early. We played the rest of the evening. And then you stayed that night and we played the next day. And it had snowed a lot that day. So we ended up staying a second night.
Yeah.
And we played a little bit in the morning.
Yeah.
It was a blast.
Yeah. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I do enjoy our surprise game days. So when we do our episode, normally we cover 18 games because you pick 9, I pick 9, and we do our top 9 list. We actually played 18 games, so it's going to be like same format. Yes.
Oh, wow. I didn't even count this time.
Yeah. So it's not our what's the word? Our record. We've played more before.
But we did play a few games over. Like we played one 6 times. We played another one 3 times. So we did.
True. And we played some bigger ones as well.
Yeah, a couple.
All right. Oh no! Look away. Let me go back. I clicked on the screen and and I keep losing my mouse because I have 2 screens. Oh my god. Let me put my Wow, that was a spoiler alert if you're watching this on YouTube.
That one has a funny story because it led us to do something other than gaming, which we'll share.
No regrets. No regrets. All right. Let us get started then. So we don't really have like where I have a list and Carla has a list because obviously we all played them. But I think maybe we can take turn kind of initiating talking about the game and then we'll both talk about both all the games anyways.
Sure, you talk about the first one because I'm curious your thoughts on
All right, well, let me bring up the first one. The first game that we played, let's see, my mouse is still here. There we go. No, it's not. Jeez.
There you go.
All right. my smile, jeez. Okay, so we played Unconscious Mind because I bought this game. I want to say, was it July? I think that's when Kayla said we had looked it up in July. And it was part of the what is it called? Like the dent and damaged sale or whatever.
Ding and Dent.
Ding and Dent, yeah. And it's from Mission Fun and Games. So I bought this game for $40. And if you look very closely, you can see that there's a dent in the box. But you have to look really closely to find it. It's barely there. So Unconscious Mind is, I'm trying to think like what style of game it is.
Well,
because I wouldn't say it's like, is it? Oh yeah, because you're putting your thought bubbles onto the board to kind of activate different action. And then like the theme, I guess, is what we're psychologists helping curing people from their nightmares and dreams. But first of all, artwork is gorgeous. This is beautiful. And you have these transparent cards that you put over top of your patients and you need to, I don't even know, like you medicate
catharsis. You're trying to achieve catharsis to remove that layer, and that
Hmm.
helps treat them. That doesn't completely treat them, but they're trying to reach catharsis, and
Yeah.
and the artists,
And
I just want to say there's two different artists. There's Andrew Bosley and Vincent Dutrait, and one does like one type of dream, and the other one, it's the latent dream and the, I forget what the other term is, but there's two different
right.
types of dreams, and one artist does that whole set, and then the other one does the other whole set, I believe.
Nice.
I
But it was really
believe.
interesting in this one because you have also like this little rondelle thing where you're manipulating your insight. And there's like the three elements to this insight. It was like passion and I
Growth
can't,
and freedom.
right. And you have to have like each side or each kind of third of it has like three level of it of how deep I guess you get into it. And you need to kind of manipulate these insight to be able to is it for the dreams that we needed those? Or for
Well, it's
curing?
to
Oh,
treat the patient through their
yeah,
dreams. Yeah.
right. So, because you got to match what's on the card. And I thought that one was so interesting. And part of the action that you can do will move, or you can kind of go deeper in the insight. So you kind of shift things around. I thought it was such a neat, satisfying game to play. Now it's a longer game. I don't remember
Yeah.
how long it took us to play, but it's not a game that felt long. Like you're not be like, oh my god, are we almost over? Like it doesn't overstay its welcome at all.
Yeah, we didn't. I think we played with Teach because I had to teach you, right? You didn't hadn't played it before
No,
because
I
you
had
hadn't
never
played it.
played this before. Yeah,
So with Teach, I think we did 3 hours, which
yeah.
I don't think. I mean, we were chatting too. We were not like rushing through the game or anything. I just wanted to make sure if I
I
got
never
that right
rush
about
through
those
a game. I'm
numbers.
not a fan of like let's try to speed play this game.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, no, beautiful game. This one was a lot of fun. Like I want to talk components, like because we have these little like different medicine bottles that are like translucent, and they kind of because every time you complete an action you kind of go at the end of the board and you move that bottle so many space, and then you can activate some of the tiles that you can add to your own player board. And like it's a bit of an engine building in that way, but those bottles all different shape for the different players, different colors, and they just look so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I love this
Mm,
game.
mm. Now, I'm pretty sure my copy was a retail copy. I don't know how much more you would get out of a deluxe copy. Maybe the light bulb tokens are wooden or
No, I
something.
think they're still. I believe they're still cardboard. It's the you get minis for the your not your workers but your characters.
Oh,
You
instead of
get
the
their,
bottle?
yeah, the ink bottles are, they have a cork on the top. It actually,
Oh, okay,
oh
yeah.
no, not in that picture. It's just a few things that really, like, this feels very deluxe version to me, like the
Hmm.
base. There's not a whole ton. There's maybe a couple upgrade, but I don't think those change the
Yeah.
little bright ideas. I'm just trying to look. There's actually a third artist in this game. I didn't realize, named Yoma. But okay, so I just want to get this clear so I don't mess it up. Vincent Dutrait does the real life elements of the game. So he does the client cards. Okay, so I got that
Oh,
right.
okay, yeah, yeah.
So he does all that. So it's very like him, like if you've played
It's
any other games
beautiful,
with
yeah.
him. And then Andrew Bosley does all the dream cards. Okay, so I did get that wrong. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Those are two very famous board game artists that have done tons of different games. So it's kind of cool that they came together to
Hmm.
help create a game. But
Yeah, very
anyway,
nice.
just want to get that right.
But perfect. So that was the first game we played.
Yeah.
Um, Unconscious Mind.
All right. The
Now,
second one we played is not
yeah,
wasn't either of our games. This was Kayla's, and
that's
she
right.
actually won this at Car Treat, this last Car Treat in September. She
Hmm.
won this game, and I was excited that a friend won it because I wanted to be able to try it. And this is really neat. This one is by Frank West. So he did like all the like Isle of Cats, the whole series of that. And
Oh yeah.
Race to the Raft was his next one, I think. And then I think this is the one after that. But this one is really cool. I mean, of course, the little animal art is gorgeous in it,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a very different game to me because it had the tableau building kind of, a little bit Everdelish, except that these cards move, and it's a new mechanic called dancing, your card dancing. And then it still had this main game board, like a map form. So you're still trying to like move around and kind of get some control of different places. Not, I wouldn't say area control. Like, would you call it area
Because you
control?
can, well, I mean,
Kind of. You're not really
I mean,
kicking
you can
anybody
put
out.
your stuff there ahead of
Yeah.
time and kind of control the type of building is going to go there, but
Yeah.
you can share the same tile.
Yeah,
So
true.
you're
Because you can
not
jump all over and
blocking
stuff.
somebody else.
And
Yeah,
you can never remove anybody. So it's a different type of, area. I don't even know if it's control, but just sort of like that. But
it
anyway,
is
so
because the more you control, the more you would
points you
score.
get, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah,
true. True.
yeah,
That's right. And depending on your goal cards, that will make a
true.
difference.
Oh, yeah,
But
true.
what you do in the game is you will either be playing a card onto your player board, and the card can go into different spots. There's some like basically blank spots, and some that will give you a resource if you place that card there. And then depending what's on the card, it might have an instant action that you'll do right away. It might have something that will give you an action once you move that card, and it's a slide action, so you'll always slide to the left if you decide to do a slide action that turn instead of placing a card. Or it might have an action that when it gets bumped off your board, kind of like Viscounts of the West Kingdom, you'll get that
Mm-hmm.
action. So it's kind of puzzly that way, where you're trying to figure out, where do I want to put this card that it's going to give me the most bang for my buck? Because if it's an instant one, I mean, having it on the right side and sliding it over really is just a waste, because you're going to get one action out of it and then it's not going to do anything. But it might have another action on the bottom that is a sliding action, so it might be worth it that way. But these cards, the art in them is gorgeous. You have all these different like warrior animals, and they will do things like, gather resources for you, and there's all these different tags on the cards on the top left, and it might depend on what kind of tags you have. You can actually, there's some battling in this, but it's just these little like flag banners that you're, I mean, probably representing nations of some sort, but that you're trying to attack and conquer. And so when you have a card that says like attack, one per sword that is showing on your board, or one per beet or turnip, we weren't sure what they were on it depends what is showing on your board. And then depending where your character is on the board, you'll be connected to different areas that may have flags still on their banners, whatever they're called, and you will be able to fight them. And you just have to equal their strength or be higher than their strength, basically, and then you just gain that banner. And then there's a track on the board where that this little chip will move down, and you will get to gather a bonus off that. If it gets to the bottom, then there's these really neat trophies. So you do try to time it so that you can be the person who gets one of the trophies. We each got a couple trophies, so I think we managed to do okay that way. But also in these areas, there's these clearings. So it's all the clearings have different hex spaces where you can build buildings and place animals, home animals on them. And you all have some buildings on your player board that you can build, but then there's also a like a central stack of different buildings you can build as well, and they all have different resource costs to them. So if you had a card that would allow you to build, then you will have to pay the cost and choose a building and place it on one of the hexes, and then you can home an animal. And you have, I can't remember if it's 5 of each animal or 6 of each animal, but there's 4 different animals. There's an owl, a
Well,
mouse,
so
I
yeah,
think
because
it
you have the
was, or
mouse, the owl, the bunny, and the frog.
oh, the frog, right. And
Yeah.
they all kind of do different things. When you house them, you take them off your board, and then there's like a little bonus that you'll get. It might just be an icon that will help you when you need those little tags. It might allow you to grab a card or just do different things, but it's neat because then you have these I can't remember what they called them, the goal cards, but you can in different cards will allow you to choose one of these, or I think you also get one when you is it when you home an animal? No, that's when you can choose another animal card. But there's something that'll allow you to take these goal cards, and you may have a whole stack of them by the end of the game, and maybe not be able to fulfill them all. But it's really neat because they're quite different, and they can really change how you play the game. You may be really going for just removing your animals and trying to home them, or you may be trying to control certain areas or have certain animals in certain areas. Like it's really different. I found it quite a different game for me because it had that little bit of area control ish, moving around the map, but then that whole tableau building and the card dancing was really neat. Trying to figure out that puzzle of what do I put where and what's going to benefit me the most. I really enjoyed this game. Kaylin said, well, do you want to take it and try it solo? This is one I didn't know if it would be great solo, just because like the card puzzle would be neat, but about the area control on the map, I wasn't sure. Now she went home and the next day she did try it solo. So I'm curious how she, if she enjoyed it that way.
Yeah.
But I really liked it. It was a really neat game. I started off really slow and planned terribly at the beginning, but then I ended up.
Well, what was funny too, because at the beginning, we gave a card away to another player. And you're like, oh, here, Mel, I'm going to give you this. And she's like, well, I think you thought you were giving me crap. But it was one of those cards where it's like, if I collected 5 wood in the same, because when you can activate to be like, okay, well, I'm gonna play this one so I can collect a wood for every of these wood symbols I have. Well, if you ever collect 5 in one turn, you get to do a build, and otherwise you need to have a card that allows you to build to be able to build. And when we were doing that, and you're like, and it just seemed like unlikely that I'd be able to do that.
Yeah, I was like, no.
But then
be collecting 5 wood in once, probably not.
I was really collecting card that was for wood to be able to activate that, and I ended up getting a second card that gave me that same ability. So I ended up being able to build a lot. So I was able to kind of put stuff on the map quite a bit, and I really kind of made that my full strategy. And then I had a goal where I place all my owls and bunnies. I put them all out right away. So I got a lot of the gold cards completed as well. But I love that dancing card mechanism, I think.
It's really neat.
I love it in Viscount of the West Kingdom. I love it in this. I hope there's more games that kind of start utilizing that mechanism because it's so fun and interesting.
It's neat. And just like in Viscounts, those cards just go back into your discard and they will come back to you. Except I had one card that was a powerful card, and then once it left, it was gone. It was a warrior, I think. She had so much strength that it was a one-time thing kind of. But most of them all come back to you, so it's neat. It's a kind of deck building as well. You're trying to, get back cards that will, come again and again into play. Yeah, that was a good one. I really liked it.
That was a neat one. All right, the next one that I have here, there's one that you picked up for me because it was part of, you talked about it in our last episode where we talked about new games. And I was like, oh, that does sound good. I was like, well, if you go again and you're like, okay, I'm here. Do you want this one and this one and this one? So, yeah, I do. So, and that is Festival. Because it's an abstract strategy game. Yeah. But such bright, vibrant colors that I think that's what kind of really appealed when you were showing it to me. Big, thick cardboards. And it's really interesting because you have these different patterns you're trying to create. And some is like either color patterns in certain location, and some is like the type of firework pattern you're trying to put in certain and some is even like having stuff behind it or not having stuff. But, well, I mean, like, it can't be like the base one. You have to stack up on it. And I really, really enjoyed it. It's like super simple to play, super simple to teach. It's very satisfying with that neat puzzly aspect to it. It plays quick. I don't remember how long it took us, but it does. It's not like a game that will take a long time to play.
Maybe 15, 20 minutes, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a quick one.
Now, we play 2 players, so we have access to all the tiles. If you play a higher player count, there'd be some tiles that you can't draw from, and you're gonna, let's okay, with this one or this one, and that. And then what triggers the end of the game is when one of the pile is emptied out.
Or you can have completed 6 goal cards.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't think we're close to that. So
yeah, we both had 5. I think.
Okay.
5. Yeah.
But yeah, I thought this one was just so neat, satisfying, looks beautiful on the table. And I'm glad that I picked up a copy, and then I got my own copy of this one now. Anything else you want to add on this one?
No, I mean, I talked about it last episode. It was
true.
I really liked it. It was a gamble, and I watched a video on it. I thought this looks kind of neat. Like, these games really appeal, especially to my husband. He likes this kind of quick game, but still a little bit thinky, because then if he loses, then we have to play again. Kind of.
So it's a win-win
until he wins.
Right. Nice. That's funny. Yeah, I think this is one that Lee probably will enjoy. But yeah. Wonderful. So that was Festival. And the next one, I'll bring it up for you to talk about.
Well, if it's the one, you should maybe talk about this, because I did talk about it. So I'm curious your thoughts, and I can do that.
Yeah, that's another one that you picked up at the same at Winners for me, because you made it on your list, and I was like, I kind of want it. And one thing I'm going to point out, it's a 5-player game. There was only 3 boards, unfortunately, in the box. So I can play this as a 3-player game. This is a Prospero Hall game. So I won't be able to reach out to kind of to see if I can get extra or the missing tile. How many do you have, Carla? How many do you have?
I have 5.
Ah, man.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I only had the 3. It was super weird.
3.
But it was shrink wrap. We had to punch it out. But, no, that's too bad. But, I mean, like, you could easily photocopy or whatever. And
you'll have to look which symbols you have, so I don't give you a same symbol, because you start with the symbol in the bottom. So whichever 3 you have, I'll give you a different one. I'm not giving you green, though, so
sounds good. But with this game, it's a tableau building game. You're going to be getting cards that you add to your tableau, and then when you add them to your tableau, you can either activate the row or the column. And it's going to give you resources. There's fish, there's a barrel, and there's like a vase or an urn. And then there'll be some cards that allow you to also get coins. Sorry, there's coin as well. And then there'll be cards that allow you to kind of trade those resources for points, and which is really what you're trying to do. Now, I got to the point where I didn't do as much as you did in the beginning, but I had collected a lot of resource. So by the time I got the card that I could trade my resource for points, I got to activate that a lot and get lots of points. Wasn't quite enough to catch up because you had such a big lead. There's also the 4 goals that you have, and you kind of pick 2 that you're going to score, which was good because I think the other 2 I wouldn't have scored very much on it. I wasn't concentrating on that. But I think the color is so interesting because it's nice, bright, vibrant colors. I really like that the rooftop is just slightly different. So for colorblind people, it's super easy to kind of determine what is what if you can't determine it between the colors. And This is just a straightforward pick a card, add it to your tableau, try to maximize what you're putting together here, engine building wise, to try to get the most points. And it plays quick, but it was super satisfying. I really like this one.
Yeah. It's a neat
Mm.
little mini engine builder. If you
Mm-hmm.
just need a hit of engine building, this is perfect.
Yeah, yeah, no kidding, right? And it's
Yeah.
nice, cute, tiny little box.
Yeah.
Um, oh, look, they have the coins in that little because like you could put together this little box. I'm like, well, what
Yeah.
do we need that for? Because we had our own trays, but yeah, no, super neat. Really enjoyed it. Great game.
Awesome.
Bosa.
Next
All
one
right.
we played.
The next one we played is a tiny game.
Oh yeah. This is
We ended up playing this one 6 times in a row.
this is one of those little box, like really little box series from All Play, right? These are
That's
All Play
right.
games? Yeah.
Hmm.
So you have 4 of them. We could only play 2 because the other 2 are 3 to 5 or 3 and up, 3 plus players.
Yeah.
This one could play at a high player count, and we played it wrong the first time. You hold this card and you kind of keep score that way on the card, and then you flip a card, or before you flip, no, there's one card face up, and you're gonna decide if the next card's gonna either be higher, lower, same suit, or possibly a fairy, and you do those actions. And if you guess right, you get certain points. The up will give you 2, the down will give you 2. If you have the right suit, it'll give you 4 points, and if a fairy will give you 7. If you're wrong, you lose a point. So we were doing that, going back and forth. I was flipping a card, you were flipping a card, and then we realized, oh, we both get to choose on every card, which is cool
Hmm.
because this is a game you could just sit around on a couch because all you're really doing is holding this card, and somebody could just flip them, in the middle or something and say, so, what's your choice? It's
Yeah,
a
you
push or
pinch
lock
your
game.
point.
Yeah, you pinch your point, and so you just kind of, point to it as you're holding the card. And there's only 4 fairies in the game, 3 fairies in the game,
3.
because
Yeah.
when the 3rd fairy comes up, that ends the game. And so, like a lot of times I would just gamble that fairy because I really
It
needed
paid
those
off for
7
you
points.
though.
It did. I would sometimes be wrong 4 times, but then the 5th time I was right, and then sometimes the first time I would get it. And you're like, what? How is this happening? But it was, I had watched a video on this game because I had kind of searched this whole series a while ago. I really wanted these games. But in
Mm.
this one, I was like, I don't know if I would like that at all. But it was really fun. And I think
It
it'd
was
be
satisfying.
a fun one just, at the end of the game night or maybe at the beginning just to because you just get like riled up a bit because it's just so goofy, but just a clever little design, something different than, a normal card game. But what did
Mm.
you think of it?
I thought when I watched the tutorial kind of to see how it played, I kind of was like, like, is this going to be way too light, barely
Yeah.
their game? Is it going to be? But we played it 6 times in a row. That speaks
Yeah.
volume, right? So it's one
It
of
did.
those games that's just so satisfying to quickly go through. And it's a quick game, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that you're pinching the cards, like, well, why did it do that? But if you're going to be 10 people around a small table, like it makes it easy to have a
And
higher
everybody
player
having to
count.
record their
You
score
don't
and
have to,
bumping the
like
thing
it's
off.
not fidgety. You just hold the card to where you're at. So it definitely worked. It definitely
Yeah,
worked.
it's a neat little one.
Yeah, and it's just silly fun, right? So
Yeah.
no, I'm glad I got it, and it's very simple. So to explain it, it might sound like, wow, that sounds kind of too small for a game,
Yeah.
but it's one of those things that just kind of works.
It does. Yep.
Mm.
Totally.
Perfect. Well, then, Carla, you might as well talk about our next one as well.
All right, so the next one was also in this line of games, Tiny Box. This one's called Panda Panda. And this is a card shedding game, right? No, was it a ladder building? No, card shedding. You're trying to get rid of your cards. Yeah.
No, well, it depends. Because you're
Well-
trying to get a certain set. So sometimes you'll need more cards. Sometimes you might need to get rid of cards.
Yeah, but it's not a ladder building where you're, trying to beat the other player. You're just trying to get the best hand. So
Yeah,
I think it's I don't even know if it would be either of those categories.
it's
It
not.
was really it was really
Yeah.
interesting because you get a hand of cards and then you have this chart of what hands can end the game, right? And they give you certain points, the hands,
No, it's
do
just the
they?
first one to get it
Just the first one
wins
to
the.
get one of those.
Yeah.
So you might have to have like five of one actual card, five bees, and all the bees are green. They're all pandas, but the bees are green. You might have to have like two B's, two E's, two D's. You might have to have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So some of the sets are more cards than others, but I mean sometimes you can get dealt almost that hand, and then on your turn you're either going to discard a card or just pick one up from. You can pick up from the discard, right?
Yeah. We
Or the
have
top of
each
the
other.
deck.
You can't draw an A from a discard, but you can draw
Right.
the other letters from a discard.
Right, because if somebody discards an A, then everybody swaps a card to your left. I think it was just us two, so
Yeah, so we
everybody
just
did.
swapped it
Yeah,
across. Yeah, because you have to have the proper set before you draw
yeah. You
to
have to
win.
start your turn with the proper set.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you could be like, okay, good, next round I'm gonna win, but then somebody plays an ace, so it messes with your hand.
yeah, and you're like, no, yeah, no,
More
it's
often than not, though, you pass me the winning card. I'm like, oh, I'm good now.
this would be neat to play with more people. I think too.
Mm,
Do you know what it goes up to? This one? I'll look it up.
let me check. I can look this up, but yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it was really good. I thought it was really good at two, but definitely would kind of add another element at a higher player count. That
Yeah,
would be interesting. Let's just see. Panda Panda game plays from 2 to 4.
to four. Okay. Yeah. No,
Mm-hmm.
it was a neat little game too. Like they get some really clever designers all play. Like they have
Honestly,
a
I can't think of an all
huge
play game that I don't like.
yeah, they
Like
have a
they're.
huge list of designers in their games. They don't just choose, a couple.
Mm-hmm.
I seem to always look at the box and I'm like, "Oh, that's a different one." They have a few that are the same, but I'm like, "Wow, I've never heard of that one." And they're just very clever. They're very
Mm-hmm.
very neat.
Yeah, this one was cool.
Yeah.
Actually, the next one that we played was another all play game. We played a lot of all play game this
We did.
because I
Yeah.
got a lot of all play games that had come in, and we were playing some of the ones that hadn't played yet.
Yeah.
So the next one we played is Alibis, and this one was interesting.
This was fun.
Um, I think higher player count definitely would make it interesting. At a two-player count, we get to provide two clues, so you have more information. Now, there was one that we did because what's going to happen is there's different characters. You're giving pairs of characters. Each character has a word on it. So kind of a bit like it's so Clover is you'll look at your characters, see what the two words are, and you're going to put a one-word clue that hopefully will combine those two words. So you put that in there, and then when you reveal your word clue, you're kind of looking around and you have this little dry erase board that you can mark which one are your characters. So you have that information, and then you're trying to match up the other two pair or the other pairs based on the clues provided. There was one that you put magician. I'm like, okay, magician. I'm looking. And you're trying to find the odd man out that's the bad guy because you won't have a clue pointing to him or shouldn't have a clue pointing to him. But you misread truck for trick.
Yeah. I thought it was so clever too because what was the other word? It
Can't
was
remember.
trick and I don't know. It was something that was like, oh, there's no way she can't get this one. You're looking around. I'm
Well,
like,
it's on
why
here.
is she
So there
ignoring
was
that
notebook,
word?
lemon, top, sun, helicopter, computer, Paris, and I can't see what that word was in the back there. I think starts with a K or something, but yeah.
Hmm,
It,
I don't
it was
either.
like,
But
Huh.
in that same round, you did something as well, and you were like, "Oh my god, I got this wrong." I forget what it
Oh,
was.
I matched up the wrong characters. I kind
Oh
of
yeah. So
look
we were
at
laughing, and then all of a sudden, I read the wrong word, or read the word wrong. I'm like, "Can you imagine us in 20 years trying to play games?"
maybe we just get better.
I've need
But
magnifying glasses to go around. Like, what's going
but
on here?
I mean, this game was really interesting. Like the artwork is neat. It's a fun deduction game. The higher player count, you would just have more characters that gets added up, and you wouldn't have two set. It was good at two, but definitely would be better at a higher player count.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. I think
Mm.
this one has to go on my list. I better search for
Oh.
it right now. No,
I buy so many games while we record these
I know.
podcasts.
We enable each other so much.
It's
It's
so
pathetic.
bad. All right, so that was Alibi, another game by All Play. That was really good. And then the one after that was another All Play game.
I might have to. Oh yeah, this one. I'll talk about this one again. So this
Hmm.
one I had and talked about it on the podcast, and then Mel, you had done a order, I think, an all play
I
order.
already had it. Yeah, I just
Oh,
hadn't
you
played
already
it
had
yet.
it. Well, I talked about it. Okay, and I just really like this game. It's a card shedding game, definitely, but it's also a card crafting
Card
game, not a
crafting.
deck
You
builder,
know.
card crafting game, but in a different way, because you don't like, it's not like you're building your own deck. You're just dealt out these cards, and they all have numbers 1 to, I think it's 12,
10.
10. No, I took out the 11 12s for us.
Oh, I
Depends on
see.
player count.
Okay. I was like, I
Yeah,
didn't see above 10 at first,
yeah,
but
just
okay.
for I
The
think for
two
two
player.
players you take all those out.
Mm.
But or maybe those are the upgrade ones. But anyway, you have a certain amount of cards, and it's a 5 player game, and for each player playing, you keep one set in the game. The rest you don't use. Shuffle them up, you deal all of them except 2, I believe. And then you're just going to order your cards and just try to get rid of them as fast as possible. And you never play in runs. You only ever play in sets. So I might put 2 1s down, and Mal could put 2 2s, and so on. You can play the same as the last person. If you played 2 2s and I have 2 2s, I could play that. It makes the next person in turn order miss a turn. So in a
Hmm.
2 player game, it basically gives you 2 turns in a row. And then whoever gets rid of their cards first goes out and gets, depending on player count, the points. And you just keep getting points until you get to a win position, which is at 9 or 10 points. And then if you win the next time, you win the game. Now, sounds like just a normal card shedding game, but what you can do every time you get your hand, the first thing you, well, not the first thing, but everybody can flip one of those cards to its night side. So you
Hmm.
take it out of the sleeve and you flip it over and you put it back in, and it could be a completely different number. It might be the same number with a little upgrade on it. It can be anything, something different. Now, as you're playing, you might not have a lot of sets, but you have these 3 fire tokens, and there's this little market that you can buy these translucent cards to put over top of your card. They slide into the sleeve, and you're going to buy those as you're playing. So you don't just like build up something for the next turn. You're going to play a card, buy one, slide it in, and use it right there. Now, each of these little translucent cards has a different upgrade on it. There's 3 different colors. There's yellow, teal, and pink. And you can have one of each of those on each card. So you can't put 2 yellow on one card because it would just cover up the other one.
Hmm.
But those things will either add to the total of the card, they might double the card, meaning instead of it being 1 2, it's 2 2s, the single card. It might have the little fire tokens on them, and that would let you refresh them so that you'd be able to buy more that round, because typically when you spend them, they flip over and you can't use them until the end of the next round. It might allow you to pick up a card because your hand is terrible and you get to pick one up and discard one. You might be able to make the other person or another player pick up a card if they're down to 1 or 2 and they're ready to go out. You're making them pick up a card. So there's different things you can do on these, and it's really neat because it's one of those, like, sometimes, when you get a Delta hand and you're like, this is terrible, like I can't do anything with this. I'll just lose this round. Well, no, you just have to be clever and think, what can I do with it?
Yeah.
Which card should I turn tonight? Which upgrades should I buy? And it plays really fast. I mean, the one thing, you do have to set up the game with, just, taking out the cards you're not using. Not a big deal. But at the end of the game, you do have to take all the upgrades out and flip them back to the B side. It doesn't bother me at all. Some people might find that a bit finicky, but I just really like this game. You had said it reminded you of a game called...
Yeah, Custom Heroes has a similar mechanism where it's a deck or it's a trick taking, and you can customize your card by adding these transparent sleeves to it.
Yeah.
You can't claim ownership of a card in that one.
Oh yeah, I failed to say that you can.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 sleeves of your color that if there's a real juiced up card, you can claim it. And then next round, when we deal out the cards, if somebody gets it, it just comes straight to you. You don't even have to give them a card back. You just get that extra card. So that doesn't have that in Custom Heroes.
Well, no. So it's just, it gets shuffled and you may never see this card again. But like, I haven't played Custom Heroes in a little while. Definitely similar mechanism, but I felt like it felt a little different. But I would have to play it again. Now it does on BGG. It does say that on this one that they have Custom Heroes listed as the reimplementation of Custom Hero.
Oh, okay.
So they're aware.
Okay.
I do own both. I'll have to play the other one. See how. Oh yeah, I do.
Who designed that one?
Custom Heroes.
Yeah.
Because I've owned it for a long time. For 2017, 2018 at least. Oh, it was released in 2017, Custom Heroes. And that one was, John DeClaire. It's the same.
Okay, so then he just remade his own game because he designed this one.
Yeah, he designed this one. Yeah, so it's definitely similar game. Artwork is completely different. There's a few things a little different, but it's a neat. Like, I guess to each other they're similar, but it's really unique to like other games. You don't really see this often.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know you had this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to try that out and compare. Neat.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that was Runes. Next one that we played is one that you brought. And I think you talked about in our last episode, possibly. And that is Naishi. And so Naishi is a 2-player game. It's almost kind of like, almost and not like Shot and Totem, just the way that it's set up. You have the things in the middle, you add cards. But what was really interesting is the cards are where there are. And then you have them in your hand, and that's where they get added to the bottom portion of it. And you're trying to draw from the middle what you draw and you bring down, you either put in your hand, but it has to stay where it was at. So if I take the third card, then I have to replace it with the third card in my hand. And each card will score differently based on where it's located and what's around it. And so you're trying to come up with a pattern that's going to give you the most points that you can get. But then you have a few tokens you can spend that'll allow you to swap them out or swap out with the other player and different things like that. So I thought it was really, really interesting. Just the puzzly planning aspect to this game and trying to make sure that, okay, so if I keep this in my hand, that's going to go there, that's going to work for that. And then I was like, okay, I'll put that. Then I have a lot of rice fields together, and that's going to be a lot of points. And I got so caught up, like, kind of figure out my own hand. I wasn't even looking at yours. You ended up getting all 4 towers, corners. So that scored you tons of points. But the artwork is beautiful. It's like a Zen. Like, to me, it feels Zen. Like it's just, you're just kind of slowly planning, trying to arrange your hand. And I really liked it.
Yeah, it's neat because it's you basically have a grid of cards, a 5 by 2. The first line is laid out and the other one is in your hand. And the only time you could steal one other person's card is one time in the game, and only one person can do it, and then their token is locked.
Mm,
So other than that, you're just building your own thing, but it's not a whole ton of thinking. I mean, the cards that come up, you decide where you would want to put them, and this is a game you can totally chat over, and it feels relaxing for sure.
mm. Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, nice. She was great for that.
yeah, and you can play this one on
Then,
BGA, and the nice thing is they have other characters on there, so I feel like there's going to be an
right.
expansion to it because I had started playing a couple games on there and I'm like, whoa, who's this? This isn't in my game. So there must be little decks that they're going to bring out eventually.
Nice. All right. The next one we played was one that you wanted to try, so I'll let you talk about it.
What is it? Oh, Gnome Hollow, yes. So this one, I had kind of seen a couple reviews on it. Some people loved it, and some were like, "Oh, it's all right." It's on BGA, so I always love learning games on the table that I can play on BGA later. But this one is a neat little tile placing game, but it's an economic tile placing game. Sorry, shut that off. And how it works is you're always going to draft 2 tiles and you're trying to create these fairy rings on the board. And it's a central board and it starts with this little main tile that has some connections that you can put these tiles to. Now, each of these tiles will have different mushrooms around it. Are some of them flowers? No, they're all mushrooms, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, different colored mushrooms. And so once you complete your ring, which will take possibly a couple turns unless you make a really small ring, and then you do have 2 gnomes, and you will place one to claim that route, that ring, basically. Even before it's built, you claim it as you're building it. And then once you complete it, you're going to get every mushroom that is in that ring. So I made the mistake in the beginning. I started building out and I'm like, whoa, I'm going to be making this giant ring. I think it was like 9 tiles. And I mean, on your board, you can build a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, or a 7 plus. But beyond 7, it's a kind of a waste other than you're collecting more mushrooms. It just takes a little bit more time. So you were building all these smaller ones and just gathering all these mushrooms and going to the market because then you go and sell them for points. So you're taking up all these good spots, like because the higher ones you sell, you get big points. And I'm like, I'm still building this ring. So finally, I built my ring, and then I had a whole bunch of mushrooms. But I think, I mean, you do want to get those 7s because when you do, you have at the top of your board these little magnetic cylinders, and you're going to take the first left one and place it down on the bottom where, depending on how big your ring was. So if you did have a 7 plus ring, you're going to put it on the right side and you get to take one of those bonuses. So of course the 7 plus, you do get a really cool bonus, but I'm not sure that that's the best strategy, is just to go for those high ones. I mean, it could if you really plan well. But when you do that, it'll allow you to take maybe more mushrooms or a flower pot. Now, the flower pots are going to be slid on the top of your board, and they're going to double the points for the empty space that you've taken that cylinder from. So, like the first one, I can't remember, was maybe 1. The next one 2, and at the end of the game, however many you've emptied out and however many flower pots you put on the top, you'll get that kind of score. So we managed to empty out, well, you did all of yours. I emptied
Yeah.
out all of mine except 1, but I did get all my flowers, so we got some big points at the end there. But you had just built more rings, I think, than me. Starting out with that big one was a mistake.
And that one kind of hurt because you got stuck on that for a while.
Yeah. So I quickly started a game on BGA. I'm like, I got to try this a different way, and I'm playing it on there right now. But it's neat. It's a really like different, because I just assumed it was just a tile builder, but adding in that economic part where you need to get the, you know, the mushrooms, and of course certain colored mushrooms are worth higher points. They're
Mm-hmm.
of course rare on the, they're more rare on the tiles, but if you can get a few of them, then if you place it in one of those spots where it allows you to get more mushrooms, you can take mushrooms that you've gathered. So if you've gathered those purple, I think were the really
Yeah.
rare ones, and then I could get 3 more purple. And yeah, and that's it really. I mean, you have your gnome, you're either claiming a ring, or you're going to gather a flower pot, or you're going to the market. So there's just a couple different things you can do with your gnome. But the production, you have a friend's copy that's a deluxe version, right? And so it
Mm-hmm.
has all
The wooden
wooden tokens
tokens.
that are very nice. Like it is beautiful, and even the insert was quite nice. It
Mm-hmm.
had like the spot, and what I love about inserts when they do this is this is indented in there because it's plastic. What should go in that spot? I
Oh
love
my
that
God. I love when there's an
because
insert and there's like a guide to how
yeah,
you fill the insert.
I hate having to figure out. Like a lot of times
Right?
I'll get games with beautiful inserts, but I'm like, where's everything going? I just quickly
Yeah.
look for an unboxing, reboxing video so that I
Yeah.
can figure out where everything goes. I just got Lost Runes of Arnak, the adventure chest, a couple months ago, and it's awesome, very cool. But I had no idea where anything went, so I'm watching a video to see
Yeah.
where everything is put. I think
One
it
thing
does
I
have
want
on the
to.
box where the trays go, but it's
Oh,
what goes in the trays. I want to know
yeah,
where
yeah.
everything goes. You know, so
Well, one thing about Gnome Hollow I want to point out that I absolutely love about this game and I wish will become more of a thing is it's a magnetic
yeah,
board.
that's
You have
cool.
these little token that you put on there and they're all stay in place with the little magnet. They must have like a little tiny sheet of metal inside the because it's not like super thick or super heavy,
No,
but everything just stays right there. So you bump your board, nothing moves.
yeah, works
Like,
well for me. I'm a bumper.
yeah, you're a bumper. So I thought that was great. I mean, I
Yeah.
like the inlays or whatever, but I really like this.
hmm Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it's neat. I was really impressed because I thought, well, some people are just, they're not too impressed with it, but I still want to try it. And I was
Hmm.
actually really impressed. It's a really neat little game.
Nice. Well, the next game that we played is another two-play game that you had brought, and I was really interesting in the theme, and I quite enjoyed it, and I did terrible, but it's called Lawyer Up. And I thought that was such a neat, unique game because one is playing as the prosecutor, one is playing as the defendant, and you have the judge.
The defense,
That's kind of
you
in the
mean?
middle. Oh yeah,
Not
the
the defendant.
defense.
Yeah,
Because we're not the we're like the lawyers in
yeah, we're the
play
lawyers.
here. And basically is we're trying like it's almost like we're cross-examining and then interrogating our um what are they?
The
All the
witnesses.
cards. The witnesses. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Because you have these different witness cards that you're going to be bringing in, and you're trying to play your cards, matching patterns, trying to build up your point total so that it sways towards you so that you win that witness. And this will allow you to kind of sway the jury as well towards you. Like I did terrible. I think every jury was on your side except for one.
Well,
Maybe
I
my
I seem to have. I feel like the prosecution, because they get the first witness, so they get the
mhm.
jump basically, which is
Right.
and is thematic in every trial. They get the jump. So at the start, yeah, I had that one, and I mean, I guess it could depend on card play too, because
Could depend on card play. Plus,
yeah,
there's the whole sorting of the card first,
yeah,
right? You're going to get 3 cards. You pick one to keep, you pick one to give to the other player, and you put one aside. And I did that blind because I was like, I don't know. So I think next game, I'll be definitely more strategic in
yeah,
how I sort that out.
exactly.
Um,
But it's that
yeah.
part is this is such a thematic game. Like everything
Yes.
made sense what they did with the mechanics. When we were figuring out which evidence we want, like basically the cards. You keep one for your case, you give one to them, and then you bury one. So it's thematic that way, when you're sifting through evidence, like, okay, I'm going to allow them to bring that in. I'm not going to have them see this because this is going to
Right.
destroy my case. So I just think it's so clever how they did this. It was really neat. Just that's the first part of the game. Then you explain the next part.
Yeah, because then you bring out the witness, whoever brings out, whose turn to bring out the witness, will decide which way they put the witness. Because there's one side of the card that's going to be pointing to you. It's going to give you kind of like an initial amount of point that you can put on your little dial that keeps track of your points, and there's some symbol on there. Then you have your hand, and you must match the symbol that was previously played to
at least one of them.
Yeah, at least one of them, to be able to add it, to kind of add to your defense, I guess, or to your point. But then there's like, okay, well, I'm adding this one. It gives me an extra 3 points, so you go up by another 3 points. And then sometimes there'll be some card that'll be able to influence what's happening on the other side. Or say, okay, well, if I'm going to play this one, and if there's a painting on the other side, I get to take that painting and add it to mine. And now, there's a couple of times I allowed like cards to remove. We weren't removing points, but I think it would have removed the points we had tallied up. So we were playing a little bit wrong
in the rules, but I think that.
And I'm pretty sure.
And it said it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure had we played properly, I would have lost by more.
So, no, I think least it in the beginning, out more.
Maybe.
I think, but. We kind of, it was a learning game, so
100%. But even though we played it wrong, and it was such an interesting game, I really enjoyed it. And then there's like, you got some tokens that you can object to an argument that the other side does. So they're like 5-point argument. Yeah, object. Get that out of here, right? So you can, but then it's spent, or so you got to be careful with it. And then there's also a token that you can go and sidebar and kind of go up to the jury. And that allows you to draw more cards because, like, man, I have no symbol matching. So go there. It's like, okay, well, that helps a little.
With that token, the sidebar. You go up to the judge. You approach the bench is the theme part. And then they're in your favor. The part about the judge being in your favor is neat, too, because a lot of your cards, if the judge is in your favor, this will happen. And so you're like, oh, I have my token flipped and now I can't get it in my favor. Then the next person might, approach the bench and use your sidebar and you're like, perfect. Oh no, because that turns it to them. But they might have played a procedure or something that actually is a really cool card, but then the favor sways to me. So
now the procedure card is interesting because you can use it both ways. Like you can put it aside to activate it later. That'll either kind of give you something where you can go into like the buried cards or go through your discard cards or draw extra cards. Like it'll just kind of give you help that way. You can also play it in your defense basically because it's going to give you 0 point. It doesn't have any value, but it has every symbol. So then it can be like, oh, well, I can't play anything. Well, hold on. I can play that one. Now these cards will match and I can start adding that to my defense as well. So it was neat.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. The artwork was neat. And some will be like examined. So you play a card that can also do something. And then when there's a victory, there's like a victory condition that'll allow you to kind of, most of the time was to sway the jury one way or another. And sometimes it was like, oh, the opposite player can do this. It's like, well, I'm not winning on that card. I'm going to add another one just so that it changes the victory condition. But it was neat. It was a really clever design game. Now, I think it's scenario based, so there's different scenarios that you can play. We were doing where it was a thief painting.
Yeah, it comes with 2 cases. The first season, which is what I got, but each case has a variable gameplay, and it's not like this actual variant or this like scenario we played. We can play it again. It's not like you can't play them again. Like you don't remember any. The cards are going to be all different. You're going to bury different ones, and so it's not like you can only play that one case once, but. They do sell different cases. There's a witch trial, which I'm ordering. There's a Godfather case. And then they have a whole season 2, which is a completely different game, and
Right.
it adds a little bit to it. But
Now
I
you
have
got
played
this
it
one
all.
at a wicked deal
Oh, yeah.
secondhand.
A girl
Oh,
from, I can't remember where she's from, but she was on her way to Calgary and she had listed a bunch of games. And I'm like, ooh, if you would meet me on, like, just kind of off our highway here, I'll buy that from you. It was $15 she sold it for. And this
nice.
is like a
That was so worth it.
$55 game, I believe.
Oh, see
55,
that I
60.
could see that. I believe that.
Yeah.
Mm,
And so I'm like, oh, I'll take that. And yeah,
yeah.
it was a great deal, I think.
Yeah, no, it was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was Lawyer Up. That was fun.
Mhm.
All right. The next one after this is another all-star game. And
All
I'll
play?
bring that
Yeah.
up. Yeah, all-star. All play. You'll see why I said that.
Oh,
It's
you talk
because
about this one. Yeah. You can chat
this,
about this one
okay,
'cause
this one
you
I
were the
gotta
one who
say
had to
is
use your brains.
probably, it was probably my favorite game of the whole batch that we played. I really, really like this one. Now, I had bought this knowing nothing about it. They had kind of on Kickstarter, they'd be like, okay, there was like a bunch of games. I was like, sure, I'll back this set because I was a big all play fan by then. And then I looked about like a little bit into it when I got it, and I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna like this. And then we played it. It's so good. Now, some people are gonna hate this. Lee will hate this game, but
If you don't like
I,
deduction or math,
if
don't
you
play
don't
it.
like deduction, if you don't like math, if you don't like word games, you're gonna hate this one. But it was so good. It was so good. So the way the theme works is there's an alien that's come out, and we're
I
trying to
was the
communicate
alien.
with the alien.
You were the
And
scientist.
yeah, and we do not have the same language. And we're trying to decipher each other's messages. And what's happening is you have like a shield in front of you, and you have letters, and some of the letters are like common letters or easier one that you're going to have in more, and then some are like less common, and then there's some that are I don't remember the red one what they're called, but you get some of the red ones as well, which those are rare letters that you would use, like Z.
Tough letters.
Tough. Okay. Yeah. So you're going to put 3 in the first section, and those letters are going to give you +1 when it's in a word. Yeah. Then you're going to pull 2 more out, and you're going to put them in the middle section of this screen. And those ones are going to multiply your total by 2. And then you're going to put one final one, and this one makes the total a negative. So if this letter is in the word, your total number, your score for the word is negative. So it was so interesting. So the first word you gave me, and then you're trying also to, because you have a little thing, it has like a message, if you blank for blank, this will blank. And whatever 3 blanks you have, there's a column of words. Now, technically, you roll the dice to kind of select which word it's going to be. And now you're trying to also, in the clues that you provide, give clue to try to have them guess which letter is out, because that's how you're going to decipher the new language. But you're also trying to figure out which word in each of these 3 columns is part of the message, so that you can also decipher the message. So there's these 2 separate goals you got here. So the first one
kind of combines code names with like
almost like a turn machine almost, or something like that.
Like it's
right.
It's so clever. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. But the first clue you gave me was follow. FOLLOW, and it had a score of 8. And I had determined what that is. Okay, so it could be that 4 of those letters are worth a point, and there's 1 multiplier. So before times 2, that equals 8. Or it could have been that there's 2 letters, and that there's 2 multipliers. So 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. Or it could have been that there's one letter and 3 multipliers, but you can't. There's only 2 multiplier words, but yes, you can because there's 2 L's and there's 2 O's. So it could have been 3 multipliers. So now it's like, okay, so I know that. Huh. Like, now there's now 4 letters. There's only, that was one worth 1 point. There's only 3 letters, but there were double letters in there. So it could have been like the O and the L were points, and the W was a multiplier because that would have made 4 letters times W. So then it's like, okay, so now that I know that, because one of my thing was Tokyo. So at first I was like, perfect, I'm going to put Japan. But now because you put that, I was like, I kind of want to try to guess a word that uses some of the letters you use to see how it varies in my score. So I then did island. And island had a total of -2 points. So that means one of the letters in island is the letter that makes the word a negative. So, okay, one of them do that. And then that leaves me with 2. So it's either it's a letter times 2, or I have 2 letters and no multipliers. So that's like, okay, well, that gives me more information. All right. And then the next clue, and then in the meantime, you also have this board where you can kind of start crossing off. But the next clue you give me was amazing because you give me woman. Well, but woman is a great word. But what was great about it, it had a score of 3. So I know my 3 cards that are letters worth points is in the word woman. So then I can go to that first section and cross off any letters that's not in the word woman. So it really helped narrow down which cards or which letters are points. So that was very helpful. And then I was like, okay, let's try to get more information about this. So I did chasm. And chasm was also a clue because it was canyon. Right, and chasm is an opening in earth or whatever. So I was like,
I guess tornado, I think, right, was one of the words. Or not.
No, you got this one right.
Oh, I did get that one. Okay.
It was Tokyo. You went with, because there was like island. There was so many that Japan would have given it away, but it wouldn't have provided me proper insight in what the title per se, right? So with the numbers. So, but yeah. And chasm was 1, so that was like, okay, great. So chasm is only a letter. So what's in woman that's in chasm? I know that one is a letter, and it was what, just the M. So then I knew that M was a letter one. So I was like, okay, M is one of them, so you can mark it. And it's and you do that because you provide 4 clues back and forth. And then I ended up guessing all of the decipher. So that was great.
The letters, yeah.
I was off in the different words that was in the message. I think I had 2 off and you had 1 off.
Right. Yeah.
But it's cooperative game. Most like 2 players, it's a cooperative game. And honestly, you know how we keep saying, I think at a high player count, it would be even better. I think this one was great at 2. Yeah. And I don't know that having more players would definitely make it better because I didn't have to explain my math and how I'm thinking, right? Like, because it's abstract in here.
So that's where I wonder how that would work.
Competitive would be neat too.
It'd be hard because if you're trying to throw them off, that'd be so hard.
Well, is it competitive where you have your own
2 teams,
clue giver?
Is it? Now let me double.
Because that would make sense, right? So it's still like you're cooperative with your own team, but you're trying to score higher than the other team. Kind of like Forbidden Word, whichever the one is where you have the ghost. What's the title of that game?
Oh, Mysterium.
And you only give not Mysterium because it's the word one. You picked it up for me. It's all the black box, and you have the.
Oh, Phantom Inc.
Phantom Inc. That's the one. Yeah. So kind of has a, and I think it would play a little bit like this, but this game was so good. I loved it.
Oh,
mind you, I love these brain burny puzzly game, because this was like, okay, hold on, wait. And you're Sudoku thinking, like like you got a process of elimination, and it's not as kind of laid out as Sudoku can be, but it's that type of feel that you get playing this game. It was so good. It was so good. I loved
maybe
it.
it doesn't play competitive, because I don't know how that could play competitive.
I think it would play competitive with two different teams.
But I mean, if you were trying to throw the other team off...
No, you wouldn't be... I've been thinking competitive, you're not providing clues to the other team.
Well, looking at it here, I don't think it actually plays competitive. You'll have to look after in your box and let me know, because I'm curious now. But it'd be awesome. Even 4-player might be okay. I don't know if you'd want to play with a group of 5 on each team. That could be chaos.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's good.
Plays 2 to 8, so it could be, But and it actually says, so it plays 2 to 8, but best at 2 on BG.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I think this would shine at 2, and it was so good.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, the next one that we played, and this is one that you took the time to kind of go and learn a few games while I was working on Monday. Mm-hmm. So you kind of like gathered a bunch of like rule books, and this is one of the ones that you learned for us to play. So I'll let you talk about this one.
Which one is it? Oh, there it is.
Oh,
Nocturne. Yes.
Nocturne.
So this is one of those games in that line, this AEG line. Well, I think it's AEG who produced them all. Like Calico, Cascadia. What was the third? Now I'm blanking. Oh, Verdant, which is another one we played. And Nocturne is in there. Now, this one came out and barely got talked about. I almost had a chance to play it at FallCon. I know one of our friends had it set up one year, and he's like, "Oh, does anyone want to play this?" And I was in another game, or I was like scheduled for another game, so I couldn't play it. And so I didn't get a chance then. And then I think I watched a couple of reviews, and some people were, okay on it. So I just kind of left it. I don't know why. I mean, look at that box cover. That's just
it's beautiful
to me.
I know.
Like
I thought for sure you had this.
Fox. Like, how did I not own this game? But I think I heard there was a auction mechanic in it, and that just never really was my thing. But I'm getting more into this auction mechanic, especially when they do it like this.
This is such a neat way of doing it.
Yeah, it's so neat. Yeah. So you have a grid of tiles, and it depends on player count. We were 2 players, so it was a 4x4 grid. Everybody has their own set of auctioning chips. They're actually called spells, so you're casting spells. And you will start the game by casting a spell. And the first player, I think, has to use the 1. So you have from 1 to 7, I believe. And then you have this star tile or star chip that can just beat anything. If there's one tile you really want, you just play it and you just get it. Nobody can take it from you. But so you place that down on a tile, and then in turn order, the next person can place a higher chip orthogonal to that, so on a different tile. And it just goes on until either everybody passes or somebody just plays the highest and they just get it. Now you'll take that tile, but your chip will stay there, your spell, and you'll flip it over just to show your color in that spot. And then everybody takes their tokens back, and they can choose to place it on this, I think it's called a spirit board, but I might be wrong. And on this board, there are some other tiles. And so they're just going to place it at the top. And depending on the number, if there's already a token there, they're going to, if it's a lower token, you're going to put it to the left. If it's lower, you're putting it to the right. If it's the same number, you're also putting it to the right. And then you're just going to go around until all these tiles are gone. Now, at the end of the round, you're going to, there's these 3, it's Moonlight and, what was the other one? Like the 2 rounds. Twilight and Moonlight, right.
Yeah.
So the first one's Twilight, and there's 3 goals. Well, not even goals, they're just point scoring options. So you're gonna go,
didn't score. No, you scored all of them.
You didn't focus on those.
No.
Anyway, so you'll go through and everybody has a chance to score them. So you'll see some of them might be, whoever had the most, whatever, but some might just be, are your little chips in that pattern? And however many are in that pattern on the grid after all the tiles are drafted, you'll get those points. Then you go over to the spirit board and you're going to look, and the leftmost chip is going to get to draft one, and then the next one will draft one, and so on. So then you gather all your tiles. And what you're doing with these tiles is it's like a set collection thing. You're trying to get different like gems and feathers and herbs and mushrooms, and they kind of score differently. Like if you have 3 of one type, you might get some points. If you have a whole bunch of these feathers you're trying to get, you'll get a bunch of points. But it's not just that. You also have these, they're not concoction cards, that's what they're called. You start with 1, and there are some tiles that will give you more. You really worked hard on those. You did a lot of concoctions. I did a couple, but not as much as you. And so now on these concoction cards, you have these symbols. Now these symbols are also on the tiles. So it's 2 different ways of set collecting. You're set collecting the tiles, but you're also set collecting those symbols. Kind of similar to Spirits of the Forest. I don't know if you've ever played that tile laying game, where you're collecting 2 different types of symbols for 2 different types of set collection, which I really enjoy because it makes you think like, I really want that, that mushroom, but that thing over there gives me 2 of the symbols I need for my concoction. So which one would I rather choose? I love those little, mini crunchy decisions. So anyway, you collect those all, and then you do one more round, a moonlight round. You draft 3 more cards, like goal cards, set up the grid with more tiles, and then you go through that again. The auctioning thing is neat because it's not like, you're bidding money and then you just lose it and it's gone. This has that feel of Skyrise, where you place out those buildings that with the auction, and then if you don't get it, you get it back, but then you might get something in that area later, or you'll still have those, like if somebody just outbids you, at the beginning, then you still have your high chips to be able to get stuff later. So I found it really interesting. This is another game that's definitely going on my list because it was really neat. I really enjoyed it. I think I thought it was just an auction game, and then that's it. I didn't really look much into it, but the fact that it has the auction, the set collection, then the pattern building for the goal cards, like everything about it I really enjoyed.
It was so good.
Yeah.
It's the same auction mechanism as in Skyrise, which I think is so interesting. And it's neat, like if you can create a corner where it'd be like, oh, you can't bid me there, so I'm just going to take that one. There's nowhere for you to go. Yeah, it's so satisfying. Nice. All right. The next one we played after that is one that I had got from Kickstarter. And then in that Kickstarter, I had gotten a big set of flat out games, which included Nocturne. But this was the one that technically was Kickstarting, and that is Knitting Circle. So Knitting Circle is kind of like the second version of Calico. And definitely there's similar like art style. It's similar feel, I guess, a little bit to the game. So instead of putting a quilt together, you're knitting different garments. And we found out that you can actually play or use Knitting Circle as like an expansion to Calico to change the set collection or the tile drafting mechanism, which I think Knitting Circle did so well. So you have this rondelle thing, and then you put color, and you have some patterns because you got different color yarns, but you have the knit side and you have the purl side. And if you kind of just always knit the same way and you go back and forth, you're going to create like a knit side and a purl side as you knit. So it's really thematic to knitting, but then you're going around. But when you create your pattern and when you're creating your garments, you have to do a knit side, a purl side, a knit side, a purl side, a knit side, a purl side. So it matters which one you select. Now you can, I don't remember what we're spending to flip it from one side to the other.
You have to spend a tile, like a
Oh
yarn.
yeah, you gotta throw away a yarn to be able to flip the pattern. Now you do also get a couple of yarn that goes into your basket, and those ones you can flip as you need. This is one of those games I found like at the end, it's like, oh, I needed one more round. It was like, I needed more. Like it's one of those where it's like, I needed more, because you have also these goals you're trying to create. And we had like try to create one of every garment. Well, to make pants, it requires a lot of yarn. And it's like my last one. I was like, I won't have enough time to gather all this yarn to make this garment. That was the only one I had left, so I'm not going to be able to do that goal. So what other goal can you do? But and then you have like the buttons, kind of like you do in calico, but if you match a certain color into the thing, then you can add that button for that. If you have a pattern, because there's pattern in the colors, so you can do stripes where you have like one color, the other color, the other color, the other color, and it's only kind of back and forth between the two colors. Or you can have color blocks where you have one color, then a different color, then possibly a third color if you want, but those have to be in blocks, so they have to have at least two of each to create, or symmetrical, where it kind of, if you were going to fold the garment in half, it would line up. And then I forget what the other, or a solid, just all the same color all throughout. So those are the different patterns you can create with your color. And then as well, you get points if you create a certain garment type and you have that token, because it's not just all the buttons are available to everybody. You get these buttons that's kind of like immediate goals you're trying to accomplish. So, I started with mittens because I had a mitten. No, I had hats. So I was making hats because I had the hats token. And you kind of dictate what you're trying to do there, but you're also looking at the main goals, kind of dictate what you're trying to do there. And you move your cat on the middle thing, because you can move your cat one or two, and you have to take a yarn from those one or two. So it'd be like, so it gives you more control, and that's what can be used in calico. You can use this rondelle to draw the tile, so it makes it where you have a little bit more control of the strategies you're trying to do. It's not quite as luck driven of what you pull out of the bag. But yeah, I thought this was great. Now, I had heard that they felt this was a simpler game than calico, and after I backed it, I was worried that it would be too light. And it wasn't. I really enjoyed this. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it still has that like crunch to it, because you really need to plan what you're doing, and just, how am I going to get some more tiles to complete this so that I can get rid of some of these buttons? I kept getting the buttons that were like the try buttons, the round ones.
You needed 3 colors.
I needed 3 colors. So you have to do, I forget what the pattern's called, if you want 3 colors in your
color block
or something.
Or symmetry.
Or symmetry was 2. Yeah, there's 2 different ones you could do. So you couldn't get a mitten pattern, because that had 4 placement on there, so you can't use that on that. And I was trying to make a pair of mittens, because that was one of the goals. None of us completed any of the goals. No. So that was the easiest one. So I thought, oh yeah, but then I kept getting those buttons. I'm like, and then I just realized, I think I always think in my head, I need to be able to put one of each of those shaped buttons on my pattern. I think you got to get that out of your head.
The buttons definitely were harder for you to do.
Yeah.
I never got those tricolor buttons, but my buttons were worth 1 point. Yours was worth 3.
Mine were worth
so
3,
definitely, yeah.
So you just have to, it's just my silly brain thinking I need one of each of those buttons on there. But really, some of those buttons are 1 point. So you getting 3 1 points and me getting 1 3 is the same.
Yeah.
But you can't change. Oh, you can. I think you can change out a button, though, at the end of the round, because I was doing that, but then I kept drawing the same try buttons. But yeah, no, it was neat. Like I thought this was going to be a super light game, too. I didn't even back it, or I didn't think, I thought, oh, I don't know if I want a simpler version, like a super simpler version of Calico,
Right.
then I just didn't even think about it. But it is really a neat little puzzle. And I don't know, you didn't talk about the little expansion it has in it to Calico.
Yeah, I
Basically,
did.
you just, oh yeah, the rondelle.
Yeah.
That's neat.
And I think that would improve Calico quite a
Yeah,
bit.
I
Because the
agree. Because there's
Calico
more.
is neat. At the end, though, you're kind of like at the mercy of whatever you draw. Will it fit? Will it not fit? And chances are it's not going to fit and it's going to wreck what you're working towards. And it's
Yeah.
kind of like, ugh.
So having
But
that many more tiles out there will make a
yes,
yeah.
you're still limited to 4 that you can draw from,
Yeah.
but you can kind of see what's coming and you can kind of plan a little bit better. Okay, please don't take the green. Please don't take the green.
Yeah.
And so there's still that, like, will they take what you're hoping for? But it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. So that was Knitting Circle. And then the next one I'll let you talk about because this is one that you wanted to play. And it's Bah Humbug.
Ah, yes. This one, ironically, when I went home the next day, it had arrived, my copy.
Nice.
But this is a collection of Christmas games. So this game originally, like several years ago, came out as a print and play. And I did print it and play it. And then it came out the next year as a Kickstarter. You could get the actual copy. And of course, my copy's terrible because I'm, I printed it myself and cut the paper, and it's not great, but it still worked. And it just had the one, maybe 2 games in that. But this one, what she did was she has a few designs in here, but she opened it up to designers to design games with the components in it. Now, there's cards that are numbered 1 to 12, and there's 12 12s, 11 11s, and so on. And then there's some tokens and some other cards. And these designers just all, came up with different games. Now, we know one of the designers of one of the games, and this is what we played. It's called Deck Build the Halls.
Yeah.
Deck Build the Halls. And it is awesome. We even played it wrong, but it was...
Yeah, it was still awesome.
I kind of knew. I was like, I feel like we're doing something wrong here, but... okay, well, maybe. And then I thought after, well, maybe if we did something like this or whatever. And then I watched a video, or I was listening to a video on the way home, and of him actually teaching it at FallCon to your friend Dave, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a sec, we didn't do that.
We both read the rules too. We just totally glanced over.
I think.
Yeah.
You missed that page.
That's funny.
I don't know.
Oh, that's funny.
Yours maybe stuck together because, like, when I opened my book, I had to like peel each page, and they were kind of
right, a little bit.
So I don't know, but anyway, so I'll talk about this version or this one game in the box. It's not the main one from the main designer, but she actually designs quite a few in there, and they're all really neat. So this one, you have a starting deck, which is 8 cards, and depending on player count, there will be less cards in, or no, everybody would start with the same. Yeah, I don't think we pulled any cards.
Yeah, no, we had the same.
Yeah, maybe some of the what I called chickens, but they're not chickens, they're birds, and they're wearing Scottish gear. The art is so cool in this. It's
Piper's piping.
Yeah, the Piper's piping. Anyway, so you start with this deck card, or this small deck, and you basically, it's just a trick taking game. You play a card and you burn a card, which just goes to your discard pile, and you're trying to have the lowest card to win the trick. Now, if you win it, you win the other people's cards. We played in a 2-player game.
Yeah.
And if it was more people, you would only win the lowest player's cards. Okay.
Or the loser, because it would be the highest card.
Yeah, sorry, the highest.
Yeah.
The lowest. And then that person would get a hollyberry. And so that gives them more spending power when they go to the market to buy more cards to build their deck. Now, you're trying to build your deck because everything's worth a point, except all the birds. And there's a lot of them in there. Mm-hmm. So you want the birds because you want lots of cards in your hand to be able to win or toss to other people. But you also don't want them in your hand. So it's kind of I mean, we kept, gathering them and then giving them away and then gathering them, giving them away. It's a really neat little mechanic he threw in there. But then after that turn, whoever lost, I must be in a multiplayer game, the loser, like the actual highest card, would lead next hand. So it's not the winner of the trick, it's the loser of the trick that's going to lead. And then same thing, you play a card, burn a card, and you do that. Now you have the option at the beginning of your turn to buy from the market with your holly berries. And so we were doing that. And it took us a while to gather up these berries to buy from the market, because the trigger in the end of the game is when that deck is empty. And it's quite a big deck. So I'm like, this feels like it's going to be a long time. We got that wrong. So what happens is at the end of the turn, whoever won the trick, depending on the amount they won, now I can't remember if it's from the lowest or the next highest. So if I played a 2 and you played a 8, I'd have 6 spending power and I can buy from the market. I can also add my berries.
And is it the winner that's buy?
Yeah, the winner.
Oh.
The winner. So, like, if you played an 8 and I played a 2, I get 6 to spend at the market, and you grab the whole column. You don't just grab one card.
Oh my God, that changes things a lot. Wow.
So
yeah, that would have changed the game quite a bit for us. And then it would change the way we play, because I kept putting my 12s in there because I'm not winning with a 12. Here, take a 12 with your 2. That would have been 10 buying power. Oh my God. Okay.
The other thing you can do instead of buying is you can wipe one of the columns. That, those wouldn't have built, like, ours built up to be like 8 cards in one column.
Yeah, because we're not buying the birds.
We're barely buying them. So we totally got that wrong, but that'll make it.
That's funny.
That's so cool. Like, what he did a really clever design here.
I played this game the first time in its prototype form. Yeah. Not even with Duncan. I played it with my friend Michael. It blew me away. After I finished playing, I was like, okay, like trick-taking deck building game. Like, I've never come across this combination, and it does it so well. Now, there's a variant that you can play with this version of the game where the birds are -1 points, which is how I played it. So you're a lot more cautious about trying to give away your games, your birds. And honestly, I don't know about the other games. I haven't tried the other variations so far. I love this one. I bought this for this alone, and he did such a good job. It's such a neat interest. I rave about it. I love it.
It's awesome. And so I got, like I said, as I came home the next day, this was in my mailbox. So I quickly looked at the rules, and I'm like, yeah, we totally missed this page. But then I decided to play the first 6 games, because there's 13 games in there. There's actually more than 13 if you look at the back of the rule book.
Oh, wow.
Bonus games.
Wow.
But I played the first 6 just to try them out, and there's so many awesome games in there. Like this, if you have to buy one Christmas game this year, this is the one, because there's multiple games. There's solo games in there. There's I think there's even a social deduction game they made out of it. I haven't got to that far yet, but there's like, I need to play this some more. The first 6, I think actually 7 I played. I put the berries on the ones I really liked, and I was running out of berries that I needed to play for the game because I liked so many of them. And it's just, it's such a neat thing she did. And then the other thing is, she has at the back of the book, you can sign up for a newsletter, and every Christmas she's going to send out a new rule, like a new game that you can play with that
wow.
stuff.
That's amazing. I mean, the bang for your buck with this one is great. I want to point out as well how well designed this game is. Because you have the rule book. On the side, it has tabs showing which game for the portion of it. So you'd be like, okay, decks. Okay, there's deck build the hall. And you can see quickly which part of the rule book is for that. But they also have cards for each games, and you can quickly see on there the number of players, the complexity of the game, and the time length that this game would normally take. So that it was really well made, really well designed.
And that book, the rule book, is a spiral bound rule book, which is really nice and very nice quality, and it's really neat. This was one of my favorites for sure. I mean, I have so many. I'm circling all my favorites, and I have so many.
But yeah, Bah Humbug and the 12 Days of Christmas, and then the Deck Builder Hall is the one we played. Yeah, we need to play it again now. That's gonna change stuff.
Oh yeah.
All righty. So the next game that we played, because this was one that you suggested. I bought it because I really wanted to have it. But this was my versions on Temu. It's possible it's not even like the appropriate game. I was just
I don't have this. I don't think I suggested this to you because I didn't even know about it until I played it with you.
Wait till you see which one we play.
Oh.
I know you don't have it. I bought it. I have it. You're the one who recommended we should play this one.
Oh yeah, I thought you said I recommended to buy it.
Since we played it, I bought another version of this one. I'm gonna gift it to my mom. But this is Grab the Mic. And I think the real proper version has a foam fake microphone you have. Mine is this weird rubbery thing, which completely works. But you're like, okay, we should play Grab the Mic, kind of really pump us up, get us like awake.
It was, I think, 8 o'clock-ish, and I'm like,
yeah.
I wanted to play late. So I'm like, we were kind of getting a little sleepy. So I'm like, yeah, let's just something to like rile us up a bit.
And it was, I mean, because we played twice. We played twice in a row.
We played 3 because we played the orange, the green, and the
That's
pink.
right. We did play this 3 times. And it's super cool. Like you flip a card and it has a word on it. And then you're the first one to come up with the song that has that word in the lyrics. And then you sing. And we kind of did was like, you have to say at least like 5 words. Kind of just be like, oh, believe. And I was like, no, you need to give more. Like, so we would like, it was a blast.
It was hilarious.
Oh my God, it was so good. And I mean,
so
and I'm sounding like this, so it's like
it's funny though how you see the word and you're like, oh, I know the song. I can't get the tune. I can't get the word. Like it's when you have
or
to
sometimes
do it
like oh, heaven. It was like, okay, it was like she, you know, it was like, and I could get
like
I know it's in this song somewhere, and then you're like you're thinking of the song in your head. Is like, where is it in here? Or we would like sometimes we like you start singing. It's like, oh, it's blah 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 blah. It's like that's not the word. Yeah. What? It's this word. Oh, never mind.
I got that wrong so many times. You're like, those aren't the words. I'm like, oh, that's how I was thinking it.
Yeah, it was a blast. Honestly, I had a blast with this one.
Yeah, because we had recommended Hitsters because both our families love it.
Yes.
Now, this one, if you have people who are shy to sing, even if, you know, like we were off tune, just grabbing it sometimes. Like if you're off, if people are embarrassed about that, this might not be the game. But if you have people like us who don't care and just want to have fun and grab and sing the wrong tunes and do whatever, it's super fun. And then we would end up playing, okay, wait, the song I was thinking of, I got to play it now. And we would play the song.
We would kind of play it real quick.
But this led us to do something else.
We quit playing games after this. And it was like, okay, so probably by the time we finished the 3 games, it would have been closer to 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
And then after we were like, let's karaoke. And she's like, do you want to karaoke? Because I have a cold. When I karaoke with a cold, I have no voice, but I lose my voice as well. And I'm still working the next day. And I'm like, yeah, I do. She's like, are you sure? I was like, I really do. So we went upstairs and set up. And then, no, I don't have a karaoke machine. I have a couple of like handheld microphone that has like a speaker built in. You can buy them on Amazon for like $30. They're cheap, but it's still fun. And then we just put the TV on YouTube. And we're like, I keep like a karaoke list on my playlist on YouTube, but you just like look any song and be like, okay, Bad Moon on the Rise karaoke, and it'll bring up a video of the karaoke. So you have the music, you have the words on the screen. There's no, you know, like they're not singing, you get to sing. So it's karaoke. And we opened the bottle of sangria. So I had sangria in this hand. I had a hot tea in this hand trying to save my voice. And then the cough drops galore. And we sang till 3 o'clock in the morning.
I can't believe I still have a voice. I can't believe you
5
have a voice.
hours of karaoke. I barely still have a voice.
This is how much we like to talk or sing, apparently.
It was a blast. We didn't like do like karaoke where we take turn. We sang everything together.
Oh yeah.
But we like, and we went eclectic. We went from like Metallica to Disney to like 80s and 90s and Evanescence and like
Bohemian Rhapsody, everything. Oh, it's fun.
oh my god! At the end, there's somewhere we tried to did Evanescence at the word. I couldn't. Normally, I can kind of sing, but then I'm like,
Yeah.
there's no voice there anymore.
And then we'd sing and laugh sometimes, like just.
Oh my god!
It's good for the soul, karaoke.
Oh, it was honestly, it was a blast. And then like I find to do it like that at home, you're not like bunch of strangers or whatever. You don't have to wait your turn. We can all sing together, so it's less on the spot, and it's just so fun. It is just so fun. Yeah. No, I had a blast with this one.
That was funny. I was telling a friend yesterday. I'm like, yeah, me and Mel karaoke'd for like 5 hours, and she's like, oh, did you do the one where like you get like I don't know what it's on PlayStation where Rock Band where then you get marked on how you sing.
No, thank God.
And I have that. We haven't done that in forever. And I was like, no, we just sang. That's all we did. She's like, that's so unlike you to play something and not have like points or something.
Everybody's a winner at karaoke. Oh my god. All right, so then the next day, we were going to play the next day, but I was like, I'm going to need more than 4 hours. Mostly since I'm working all the next day as well. So I got up a little bit later. We only were able to fit one more game the next day. And that was one that you had set up on the first day.
Right.
But we got it played. We didn't get to play the whole thing.
No, because you had to go to
work. But I'll
work.
let you talk about March of the Ants, and I have the Evolved Edition one.
So this one is it is a very heavy area control game, but you still are managing your tableau on your player board there. And you're playing as a colony of ants, and you're trying to, grow your ants, get more larvae, place them out as adults, grow your actual ant, like the abdomen, the thorax, and then the head.
On your head.
Growing the abdomen allows you to feed more ants per food. Growing your thorax, now I forget which one that one does, makes you smarter.
Thorax, it allowed you to I said we didn't do that, but we never did get a thorax, but it allowed you to do extra actions.
Oh, okay, extra actions. And then the head gave you more aggression if you grew that, which I didn't grow my head. Did you grow yours?
I did one head, yeah.
You did. So you just take these actions that are on the left-hand side of your board, and you can either explore by placing more tiles out and moving your ants around. You can march, moving your ants into different colonies. We didn't actually get to the point where we battled each other.
Well, we did in the Great Hall.
In the middle, in the Great Hall, but not on our own hexes. And then the other thing is you can take cards, and the cards will help upgrade your ant or their events that will play out their different. They also
goals.
All the cards also have a power on them that when you do battle, you can just use the cards. So they're multi-use cards. You can play them to add to your power. There's an action to play a card, and then there's an action to rest, and you get to grab a rest tile. Now, after that, and even while you're doing that, when I'm taking certain actions, some of these actions will give everybody else an action. So I might do something that allows you to grow more larvae, or take a card or discard a card or move an ant into the Great Hall or whatnot. The Great Hall is the middle of the board that is started before the tiles. So then after that, we do kind of like a battle phase where any area where there's more than one color of ant, we perform kind of a battle thing. And what you do is you're going to take however many ants are there, and that's the power of your strength, and you're going to move up this little track, and then you can you play more than one card to add to that? That I don't know.
Because when you do the play a card, I think you just play the one card. You got to pay the
No,
like you would
I mean
have
during
to.
the battle. Can you
Oh no,
play
no,
more
just
than
one.
just
No,
one to
just
add
one.
to the battle? And then
Yeah.
it has a little ant face with these dots, and that'll like some. I had one that had 4, which was huge. Some will just have 1, 2, or 3. But you'll play those and that'll add to it. Now, if you're the winner, you're going to get in the middle of the Great Hall, there's this tile that shows like first place, second place, third place, and it's just little bonuses. And so you'll get that. But then you also are going to lose some ants. And depending if you're the winner, you're going to take out more ants than being a loser. But the loser will still. So you do always fight and lose some ants. But then they come back to your supply and you can still, right? They always came back to our supply.
Yeah, they go back to the eggs.
Yeah.
Then you can get them to become larvae, and then when you pull them off your board, you become ants. Yeah.
And then there's a market phase where on these hex tiles where you've placed your ants, you may have placed them in these spots that will give you resources. And they could give you points, food, more larvae. Was there other things that you could gather? I can't remember, but I think none of the tiles we had anything different than that. But so you get that, and then you have to feed your ants, and one food feeds 4 ants unless you have more of your abdomen grown, or cards that allow you to, it'll feed some or one of your rest tiles.
And you got a card that had to make me feed more ants than I had.
More. You were feeding me. It was neat, but it was really neat because it's basically taking a war game and turning it into
like a nature game.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Yes. Like this appealed to me because it was ants. If this was like troops and whatever, I probably would have been like, no thanks, I'll play something else. But the fact that they did it, and I mean, it's thematic. This is how ants work. They do
for sure
battle. They do have territories. They do die a lot and eat a lot and grow a lot. Like I just love how people think of the thematic part of it and put it into the game and the mechanics. It's just, to me, that's just like, oh, so satisfying when it all works out like that. But no, it was neat. We only played half the game. And I feel like the second half would have felt way more because the first
it would have ramped up,
quick. Second round was a little longer, but each round would have been longer, and there would have been more battles, and we would have been in each other's hexes, so it would have been interesting, and it would be a very interesting multiplayer game because there would have just been so many things going on, so many battles, and but yeah, very clever. This was a remade game, right? This was an older game that they remade.
Because it's funny, like this, because it was originally released, I think, 10 years ago. So they've re-released it either 10 or 20 years ago. But because I backed it, it showed up. I got a notification of that it's going to be delivered. I'm like, did I back this? Like, I didn't remember backing this at all. This would have been like on a whim one day. I backed it and never thought of it again. But I'm glad I did because it was really good.
I'm just looking if it'll show me when the original one came out.
Perfect. So that was March of the Ants, the Evolved Edition, which was just released this year.
Oh, 2015 was the original.
Right, so 10 years ago. Perfect. Yeah. Now, there was one game that we played much earlier than this one, but when I did my presentation, I accidentally skipped it, so I tucked it in the end here. And this is the first game we played after Kayla left. And you're like, well, I know this one. Want me to teach it to you? And that was Verdant. And because I that was part of like the grouper game that I had gotten from the Flat Out Games when I backed Knitting Circle. And I was like, well, I really like Cascadius. I think I'll like this one. And this is funny because it's all about growing plants in your home, which I don't do because I can't, because they all die. And I get it that, I come honestly from my mom because she's just as bad as I am. We got her a sign that was like, you could put in a plant that says I tried, but it died. So that's just a family trait, except for my sister. She's able to keep them alive. I don't know. But this one was interesting because it's a tableau building, and you add plants and you had rooms, and it's going to be plant room. So you create this grid, kind of checkered grid with the rooms and the plants, and the rooms have different light value on each side of it, and some plants like it dim or dark, some like it full sun or whatever. And when you match that, then you get to put a leaf on your plant because you're getting the value of light that it likes. And then, but you can put, like on all sides, so then you can add more leaves to them. But then once you reach a certain amount of leaves, then it's like, good, this one is complete. So you can pot it, and you put a little potting token on top of it. And the first ones are going to be worth more points than later on. And there's different tools that you can end up getting as well. Because when you draw, like Cascadia, you draw the card and you draw the token. Now, there's two sets of cards, though. Like you got the plant card and the room card. So depending on which one you get, the other one gets a little thumbs or green thumb on it. And then you can spend those green thumb to do extra things as well. But then these tools, you'll place them on the rooms, because there's some, like the tokens will have like one that matches the room, and you place them on the room, and that'll give you bonus points as well. But then some allow you to kind of go and add extra leaves to your plants, trying to kind of get them potted. But it was really interesting. I quite enjoyed this one. Even though that I'm not a gardener and probably never will be, even like, I wouldn't say like the theme is what drew me in, but the gameplay was very satisfying.
Yeah, and it's a quick game too. We played this in under half hour for sure.
Yeah, it was nice and quick.
Yeah,
it's good to have those fillers in there sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, so that was Verdant, and that was our couple of days of an impromptu game event that we did at my house. I say impromptu, we kind of talked about it, but like we didn't plan this very much in advance.
No.
So, and it turned out being a little bit longer because of the snow. So it's, but it was so much fun. Like I really enjoyed all the games we played.
Yeah, they were awesome. I did. I really enjoyed. Yeah, there wasn't one where we were like, oh, that's not really good. All of them we liked. But we do like most games, so we're pretty easy to please that way.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so out of all the games we played, which one would you say was your favorite?
I circled a bunch, and I don't. It's a toss up. Like I didn't circle any of the ones that I owned because I love all those anyway. But I had circled like Lawyer Up, Emberleaf, Message from the Stars, Alibis, Humbug. I mean, Grab the Mic. Like, they were just all so fun. We just had
True.
2 days of solid fun.
Yeah, not for sure.
Awesome. Yeah.
For sure. I think A Message from the Stars, the one that stands out for me. God, that was so... it was just so satisfying to figure it out. I guess you'll have to play on the other side, see how you feel trying to solve the puzzle more than just provide the clues.
Didn't have to do all the math and stuff. I was the alien.
Yeah.
So, and I know at that point in the night, I was like, oh, I'm so glad you're on that side because my brain was hurting from like all the crunchy decisions we were making. But you were right into it. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I'm playing the alien tonight. But I will have to try and be the scientist too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this was an impromptu, because of what Carla said. Carla's like, there's so many great games. We got to talk about them. And I don't want to talk about one in our what have we been playing lately. I was like, let's just do an extra episode. You want to? So I'm glad we did it because so many great games. But this is like an extra episode. I'm not even going to wait for Monday. I'll just post it probably today or tomorrow. And we're still going to stay on our regular schedule for our Christmas game episode that we're going to be doing. But yeah, so before we call it quits, where can we find you?
I'm on Instagram at boardgamespecialist, all one word. And my Facebook page is Red Deer Board Game Fanatics. What about you?
So we have a Discord channel, and in fact, if you were on a Discord channel, you would have been aware of our impromptu game day anyways, because we posted all of those pictures on there. So be sure to join us on that. I am on Instagram at Mal's_boardgame_room. I also have my Facebook page, Mal's Board Game Room, and my YouTube channel called Mal's Board Game Room. So we're going to call it quits because I'm about to go start work here today. But thank you so much for tuning in, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for listening.
If you wanna stay with me, if you wanna try